Yo, how is everybody doing out there? Hopefully good. And here I come again with another action figure review. And since it's been a while since I've given you guys an action figure review, I'm about to do a little 2-for-1. And let us name this 2-for-1 X-Women. And when I say X-Women, I do not mean the cancelled 1995 Sega Genesis video game X-Women, which would have been great. I don't know why Sega chose to cancel that and yet still go on with the 32X, because we know how that ended up. But we're going off topic now. Let us introduce to you the two topics, the two subjects, the two individuals that shall be reviewed here today. And that is Marvel's Blink, or Blink, and of course, Marvel's Boom Boom from X-Force. And let's start with the packaging on each of them. Let's start off with Blink's packaging. And as you can see, Blink is nicely showcased on the side. Very nice. Marvel Legends. This is the standard Marvel Legends box. The shape of the box has been the same since they rebranded as the Infinite series with that Spider-Man Captain American wave, like back in 2014, if I remember correctly. No, 2013, possibly. Of course, Blink is there as well. There's the back of the box and a quick synopsis of the character. Clarice Ferguson uses her mutant ability of teleportation to disappear and reappear in the blink of an eye. Hence her name. Ooh. Clarice Ferguson utiliza su poder mutante teleportar. Okay, I can't read French. But yeah, there's other figures in the line for the Caliban Build-A-Figure wave, and to be quite honest, I'm not interested in this Build-A-Figure at all. I don't own this Gambit. I own the original Toy Biz Gambit, and I've always felt happy with that one, to be honest with you. Marvel's Beast, same thing. I've never felt inclined to buy it. Not interested in Weapon X. Do have Forge, already opened up Forge, but never reviewed them. This was before I started reviewing figures. Got Blink. I got Jubilee as well, same thing as Forge. And Skullbuster, he looks like a nice figure, but I mean, not really that much of a big fanatic of the character. Skullbuster to me always just seemed like a poor man's Crossbones, to be honest with you. Other than that, I like the coloring of the box. I mean, I like the fact how they try to differentiate the waves and colors, and usually X-Men waves are designated like these yellow colors, whereas Spider-Man waves are designated red, and Avengers waves are usually designated blue. So that's a fun way of kind of like having differentiation even between the lines, kind of like how the Marvel used to be ran like under different houses. Like there was an X-Men house, an Avengers house, a Spider-Man house of like writers and drawers and all that. And then we go to Boom Boom, same thing. Nice box art of her on the side. Nice placement of the figure, to be honest with you. I'm kind of glad how they got the bubblegum head on there to display, because it perfectly captures Tabitha Smith's character, in my opinion. And of course, here's her synopsis: Tabitha Smith, alias Boom Boom, which, by the way, she has like a billion aliases. She's like Meltdown, Boomer, Time Bomb. She has a bunch of nicknames. Manipulates energy to create explosive time bombs that she can detonate at any moment. And the Wendigo wave. Now, Wendigo is a really nice figure. I'm not sure if I would be down to get all the figures in this line, to be honest with you, because X-Force Wolverine, I already have an X-Force Wolverine from the San Diego Comic-Con box set. Cannonball. This Cannonball figure is one of the worst figures, to be honest with you, because he doesn't come with a lower torso. Like, what the heck? Hasbro, like, no lower torso? Like, really? Marvel's Boom Boom, that's the figure that's going to be reviewed today. Marvel's Guardian, do not know anything about the Guardian, except that looks like a maple leaf right there, so he's probably a Canadian from Canada. Nightcrawler, I already have Nightcrawler. That was a one figure. When this wave came out, that was a one figure I targeted and I got, because I never had a Nightcrawler before this one right here. Not even the Toy Biz Nightcrawler. And same for Mr. Sinister in regards to that. I already own him like I own Wolverine. And to be honest, the Toy Biz the Toy Biz Mr. Sinister, I still feel edges this guy out, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I know Toy Biz, Hasbro has been stepping their game up in regards to sculpting, but there's just certain figures that just look better to me in their Toy Biz incarnations. For example, Colossus, and I feel no need to change the figure, Colossus or Beast. I am looking into that Gambit though, the one that's going to be released as part of the retro wave, so I might end up getting that Gambit, to be honest with you, but we'll see about that. Other than that, this is the box art. I kind of do like the fact how when a character is X-Men, they'll have the X-Men logo. Like, even though technically we're gonna get into, like, when we describe her history, this character is more of an exile, not really an X-Men. And exile, Exiles. But I really love how they use the X-Force logo for Tabitha Smith, and obviously because this is her X-Force costume. This is like her classic X-Force costume. If obviously if they would have released her next wave version, I would have wanted the next wave version, and that's something I'm gonna get to as well. Like her run on X next wave, that's what really made the character for me, and she's hilarious. Honestly, she really is. Other than that, that's all I gotta say about the box art. Standard Hasbro Infinity Series, even though they don't call them Infinity Series anymore, just Marvel Legends Series. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna go open these figures up, and of course review their accessories and review everything. So I'll be right back. Without getting into a lecture on quantum physics and parallel universes, let us just state that Blink, Clarice Ferguson, has two popular incarnations of herself that are from alternate dimensions, alternate timelines, alternate universes, whatever you want to call them. And I do feel that this figure, though, is meant to represent the Age of Apocalypse self rather than her standard Marvel 616 counterparts. Now, the Marvel 616 counterpart had short hair, and I don't think she ever had a chance to grow out that hair because early on in her introduction, in her storyline, she was captured by this alien entity that's a big X-Men villain called the Phalanx, and I think she sacrificed herself to save the rest of the team and these young mutants. And I think those young mutants were inspired by her sacrifice, that they started this one group called Generation X. Now, that version of Blink, the 616 version, wasn't really the most combat savvy. I think she was even afraid of using her powers, and I think that's what led to her death. Meanwhile, the alternate version of her, which this figure represents, is the Age of Apocalypse version of her, and I think that's Earth designation either 295, 296, or 297. But the Age of Apocalypse version of her, due to having to live a much harsher life, because the Age of Apocalypse was an age in which Charles Xavier was killed early on, so Apocalypse just pretty much took over the world, took over America, and it left it like a barren wasteland pretty much, with massive deaths to human and mutants alike. Survival of the fittest at its worst, honestly. Blink lived a hard life because early on as a child she was captured and she was experimented on by the Dark Beast, which is one of the major Age of Apocalypse villains that ended up actually living past that era, and because the timeline was corrected pretty much. The X-Men are big on time travel and on correcting timelines, and if Dark Beast survives, well, Blink survived as well, and she had no timeline to go to anymore, because at that time it was stated that the Age of Apocalypse era was just wiped out. That dimension was just gone, that universe was gone, it was never gonna come back. So she kind of became an exile. You see where I'm getting? You see where that name is? Do you see how she ended up leading a team called the Exiles? And this is actually where her costume is more associated with, like this green tunic that she seems to be wearing right now. That's her Exiles attire. And she led a group of mutants from other parallel universes that they couldn't return to. I think it was Mimic from one universe, and it was more from another. And pretty much they had this one group called the Exiles, in which they would just travel across multiple parallel universes and try to correct them, because they would start to infringe on other universes and they were putting like the multiverse in danger. So they would probably travel to a universe, like let's say where Charles Xavier became a dictator and they had to put a stop to him because he was endangering the multiverse, and I think the person that ended up sending them on the mission, spoiler alert, turned out to be like one of the major baddies at the end of that comic book run. But Exiles in itself was such a great book. I would highly recommend that book. And yeah, I mean, Blink just total action girl. How could she not be? She was trained by the Age of Apocalypse version of Sabretooth, who, surprise surprise, was a good guy in this one. So you have the version in which the Beast, Dark Beast, one of the more gooder guys in the X-Men in the standard Marvel universe, just conduct these terrible experiments on her. And she ended up being rescued by one of the worst X-Men villains in the normal timeline, and Sabretooth, who was actually a noble warrior in this one, and was kind of like a mentor, like a Logan figure to her, and just gave her all her combat prowess that her standard Marvel 616 universe kind of lacked. But yeah, that best describes Blink. Now let's get to the actual action figure itself, or herself really, and it's the standard female body, and of course that means it's a diaphragm for the chest. I really don't like how little it bends. I wish it could bend a bit more, and also I don't like the fact that it's single jointed elbows. But other than that, it's rotation, yeah, nice rotation on the shoulders, and of course on the wrist. That single joint elbow though, it likes giving her dynamic poses, which I'll get more into that. But other than that, that describes her body. See, these are double jointed knees. That's what I would really want. Her thighs swivel to the side. Her foot hinges up and down, but I don't think her ankle turns. It's just this little top of her boot that turns. Other than that, she came with these kind of like daggers, like the psionic energy daggers that I guess her powers are able to manifest. She's able to just shoot them like blink, 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 she came with two of them. I like that. I feel though that I was surprised because it was kind of well hidden on the figure, and man, I think a plane's about to crash into my house. Oh no! Oh my god! Ah! Okay, I really like this. I thought travel was banned. Okay, so I really like this circle piece, which is supposed to be like kind of like a teleportation kind of a teleportation like burst. So it's like you could literally like just have her like look like she's coming out of like or teleporting out. It's so awesome, and it really brings out the character. It's so unique. I really like it. I really like this piece, and I really like the fact that I could actually use it on other characters. For example, hey, it's that Nightcrawler I mentioned before. And yeah, like, this is using it on Nightcrawler is amazing. He could, oh my god, look at that. It looks like he's popping out. Looks like he's popping out from like his dark dimension. And which, by the way, let's look at her actual color scheme. I'm like, look at this. I'm like, I really think the purple and the green really pop on her. She has a unique look, and they chose the perfect colors for her representation. I like how she has a little bit of red, and
and her face markings, and then her hair is kind of more of a maroon color. But man, just look at this. Like, X-Men characters are one of the most colorful characters, and it shows both heroes and villains. Sometimes you'll have rogues galleries where the rogues, the bad guys, are really colorful, like Batman's. They vary in color, but then Batman is kind of drab. Let's be honest, with his either it's black, gray, or blue, and that's it. But X-Men, even Spider-Man, like Spider-Man's pretty colorful and his rogues gallery is pretty colorful, but I mean, nothing could beat the X-Men rogues gallery in color and uniqueness and just how they all look, and compare. And also the heroes look just as good as the villains, to be honest with you. And yeah, I don't know what else I could say. This is a great figure. I've been wanting to get her, and yeah, she's just such a great figure. She pops. She is great, and definitely I'm 100% sure that this is supposed to represent her Age of Apocalypse self, because I think the Marvel 616 version of her has short hair, and she's always had short hair. But yeah, that's just a great figure. Last thing I'm probably gonna state is the fact that it's her name is Clarice Ferguson, but I know newer media like X-Men, like X-Men Days of Futures Past, which, by the way, to me, I know people are gonna say Logan, but to me, X-Men Days of Futures Past is the best Fox Marvel movie that they made, because that era's kind of over already. But that's the best to me. That's the best Fox Marvel movie ever made. I mean, Fox X-Men movie ever made with Days of Futures Past. Sorry, Logan, you're great, but I like Days of Futures Past. But getting back to the topic, I know that she is played by an Asian actress in that movie, and her name is Clarice Fong. So I don't know if they meant to change her ethnicity, and I don't know if that's canon in the comics now. But regardless, it's all good. She is a great figure. I would recommend getting her if you're collecting X-Men figures. How could you have her? She's the leader of the Exiles. So yeah, let's move on to the next figure. Tabitha Smith, aka Boom Boom, aka Boomer, aka Time Bomb, aka Meltdown, aka Tabitha Smith, because she actually went by her real name at one point in time. And what can I say about this character other than the fact that she's literally Jubilee to the extreme, both in her powers and in her personality? Whereas Jubilee has her little concussive kind of firework like blast, pew 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 pew. Tabitha Smith will make you explode. Her words, not mine. And whereas Jubilee, she kind of has that whole Valley Girl thing going down, but at least Jubilee has a brain. Meanwhile, Tabitha Smith, it's been written in comic book stories that she does not have a brain. Like, legit. Like, there was this one story, obviously written for comedic purposes. The villain tried brainwashing her, and that's when the poor villain discovered that she doesn't have a brain. So she's always been written kind of like this ditzy blonde type of character, Valley Girl. Later on, and during like her next wave run, she was written to be kind of like a lead speaking ZOMG Rafflecopter type of speaking lead speak girl. And she is a great unique character due to that. I feel that there's not that many characters that could be played for comedy but still have a impressive arsenal of moves. But Tabby Smith is one of them. And obviously this costume is representative of her X-Force era. Now, I think she started out with the New Mutants before Cable came around, so she was already a part of the New Mutants, but once Cable came around and turned that into X-Force, this is pretty much the costume that she was given, and it just screams 90s, to be honest with you, with the hot pink and the green cool moldy visor glasses. And I really like the head sculpt. I really like the gum on the head sculpt. And to further them Jubilee comparisons, I think even the Jubilee figure came with a gum head sculpt. I'm not gonna dig it out because I already dug out another figure for the Blink review. So instead I'm gonna showcase something else to kind of complement Boom Boom right here. But yeah, the figure is great. I really like the way this is sculpted on her arm. But before I get to any more accessories, let's showcase what I want what I want to describe as probably the best run of Tabitha Smith, and that's Next Wave, Agents of Hate. And pretty much this is a parody of a lot of superhero tropes. I really love the book. I know it's been years since I read it, but I remember it being real hilarious. And obviously the guy showcased right there is Dirk Anger. He is a parody of Nick Fury, and he is the villain, or the antagonist at least, of this book, and it's just great. And look, there's Tabby Smith, and she's talking on the phone, and she's like, I know, like, I'm gonna, yeah, no, you should have seen the costume, girl. It was a color that not even actresses would be seen in it. So she obviously has that talk down. And yeah, she has really comedic moments. That's her cussing. Oh wait, no, that's Elsa Bloodstone cussing. My bad. But yeah, she is just funny. So like, that's half of this bit right there. You want to date me? Get naked. Tick tick tick, boom. So if you're into a comedic book that just makes fun of Marvel characters, and there's certain jokes that you probably won't get, because this is a joke that you would only get if you actually read the Ultimates. But I would still recommend the book. It's great. It's really entertaining. It's really short as well, and it's just a great book. And I think it's the best. Despite her being popular for X-Force, I think this is the best that they actually ever wrote Tabitha Smith, to be honest with you. And without further ado, let's get on to the actual action figure review. Let's see this sculpted hand piece to just show her like firing like a fireball. It's just beautiful. It's just amazing. I don't know how they managed to pull it off. Oof! Whoa! I almost took down the lamps with that, but you're fine. But yeah, like, this is a great piece. But she also came with this extra hand piece right here, which is great. And of course, in addition to her gum head sculpt, she also came with a regular looking head sculpt. Look at that pink lipstick right there. Still got them Kumo D shades on though. And she also came with a separate fireball piece, which I think is awesome. And other than that, same articulation, same body type as Blink, to be honest with you, with the diaphragm. But oh, wow, there's even less movement on her diaphragm, and that's all due in part to this little vest jacket that she actually has on, and that's kind of a disappointment, to be honest with you. But hey, she could look down and up pretty decent. She could look way up actually, which is great. But other than that, standard articulation is still single jointed elbow, and her shoulder same rotation. Why am I saying a lot? I'm kidding. But yeah, it's a similar double jointed knees, and oh, her ankle actually rocks pretty well, and she has this little belt attached to it. And oh, her arm, oh, I thought it was gonna fall off. But yeah, this is a great figure. This is a great sculpt. I compliments. And she is perfectly gonna match my she's gonna perfectly fit in with my X-Force team, because guess what, I actually have most of the members of that 90s X-Force squad, which I'm gonna show you guys right now. I think I'm just missing Warpath, but hey, look, it's Cable, Domino. This is X-Force version of Domino, which I don't think she's been released yet. Just I think her like all black costume version has been released by Hasbro. This is early Hasbro. But I don't think they've released this X-Force version. And hey, look, an actual cannonball with legs. What blasphemy is this? Yeah. But I think I'm missing Warpath in his classic costume, but I do have Warpath. In his X-Force Strike, Black Ops attire. But that's about it. And yeah, Tabby Smith. is just I think she's one of the funnier characters in the Marvel universe. Her run Next Wave is hilarious. That book is great. I cannot sing enough praises for this book. Uh, just gotta have an open mind about it because it is kind of a weird book. But you know, and it is kind of a weird book, and I feel my only hesitation, my only reservation would be that it was written at a different time. Like bro, like this book was written like during the Bush administration, so I think a lot of those jokes are past date, you know, past their due date already. Like we've already been like through two different presidential kind of terms already, you know. um I don't know. I'm honest. I that's my one fear. If I'm recommending this book and you guys don't like it, I feel that it's gonna be due in part because it's already kind of dated, which kind of sucks. But hey, I enjoyed it when it came out. It was great. I don't regret it, and that's about it. All I could say. Buy, read, borrow Next Wave. It's a great book. And as for this figure, if you're trying to assemble an X4 squad, a 90s X4 squad, you need her in it. And that's about it. And I am going to go to a final deliberation. Screw it. I decided to take out the Jubilee and the head sculpt. I forgot though how sensitive this gum is. I kind of fear it falling off. So yeah, just be careful. If you guys ever have these head sculpts with the gum, just be careful. They do fall in danger of breaking away. I mean, if this one breaks away, well, I'm gonna have to get another one or just glue it. I think just glue it though, but yeah, just be careful with that. But yeah, practically gum sisters at this point. Uh-oh, they're falling. No, boom. Yeah, let's have them have a safe fall. But yeah, these two figures are great. If I gotta pick a favorite one out of both of them, I gotta go, despite Boom Boom being stocked and loaded with all these accessories, I gotta go with Bling just for the simple Nightcrawler splash piece. I just really like it. I just really like the teleportation piece, but they're both great figures overall. They're both great characters. I can't recommend them enough. And yeah, just stick around. I will be doing more reviews soon. As always, peace and love. I love you guys. I love you all. And yeah, I'm expecting to review a blast from the past very soon. So I'll keep you guys updated. And until next time, peace.